Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary, entry 31. In this entry, uh, I'm gonna go back to a video that I did before, actually, two, that had dealt with fat shaming and freedom of speech. Now, as a big girl, I am not willing to give up my freedom of speech. No, I'm just not willing to do it. Because somebody says something that hurts my feelings, especially based on something that is true. That is what gets me. If something is true, why should you be upset? Just my thought. Now, I could say if somebody was running around telling a lie, then yeah, there would be a problem with it. Then you gotta shut your mouth because you're lying. However, if you're telling the truth and you got a problem with the truth, then that's, in my opinion, is a you problem. Nobody, every it's so outrageous. It's at the point to where comedians can't even tell jokes because now people are so sensitive. I remember back in my day, we said sensitive when you are ridiculous, and people are too sensitive. You're ridiculous. Let me first start with a comedian that I found rather hilarious. Well, actually, more polarizing, Bill Maher. He's an easy person to hate. But this is what he says.
Doesn't need to end, needs to make a comeback. Some amount of shame is good.
Whew, okay, so
All right, fair use. Bill Maher has always been controversial. He'll say what's on his mind. If he is pointing out the obvious, saying fat shaming, so what? Hey, if you're fat, you're fat. People point out that you're fat. Okay. Now, whenever somebody points out something that's true, I don't know. I just can't believe the U.S. Everybody's so forget about it. Now, here, this guy right here, he's hilarious. But some of you may be so sensitive to where you're like, you can't take a joke. Sheesh. Now what he's saying, look, he's hilarious. He's rejected lettuce with thousand. Okay, and what he's saying is absolutely true. He's only making a value judgment on one aspect of a person's life, and because he's making that jokes about fat people, now cancel him. That's ridiculous. I can see if you wanted to cancel someone who was out telling blatant lies. Yes, censor that. You know, freedom of speech. There's also a part in there to where there's liable speech. And what he said is not liable because it's true. He's not out there inciting a riot. He's not doing any of those things. He's not out there, you know, saying things that are not true. What he's saying is true. Now, if you have a problem with your reality and somebody points out that you're fat, or I mean, it's at a point to where it is outrageously ridiculous. I just don't know when Americans have become so soft. I just don't get all this delicateness. Not a word, but it is today. I don't know. I'm just oh, let me add on to that. Not only can you not tell somebody that they're fat, now big women, fat women are shaming people, skinnier people, saying, if you don't like me, then you're fat phobic. Really? That is outrageous. You go from being sensitive about somebody talking about your weight to now forcing someone to accept you the way you are. Now, here's the hypocrisy. If you're fat, you won't date another fat person because that is not your preference. But you're going to shame somebody, what you don't want people to do. You don't want to be shamed, but then you want to shame somebody else into saying, well, you got to be with me. Because if you don't date me, then you're fat phobic. So you go from being the victim to the victimizer. I'm just trying to keep up with all this craziness that's happening all at one time. This is outrageous. So I believe in freedom of speech. I want to say what I want to say. I don't want anybody censoring me because, you know, if you're going to call me names, believe me, I'm going to come back at you with the same rigor. But that's just me. All right. Having said all that, got that off my chest and tired of all this sensitiveness. This is ridiculous. I don't know when Americans have been so sensitive. Body positivity. That is That's ridiculous. Body positivity. You know, I'm not going to do this to myself because this is outrageous. Okay. Let me digress. In conclusion, if we get to the point to where we censor everything, we censor what you can say, then when it comes to the point to where the people who are pushing for the censorship and you can't say this, you can't say that, when it comes to you and you want to voice your opinion about something, you won't have the opportunity because you censored everything. Be careful what you wish for because you just may get it and it may be your worst nightmare. Just a thought. Now, having said that, give me the HSO special. Help a sister out. Like, subscribe if you like my content. If you think I fell a little short, put something in the comment section. And most of all, thank you for stopping by.